everyone, welcome back. We with our little heart are heading back to Sweihan Desert for yet another very exciting drive. That's our ride, Blue XTerra. Let's hit the road. And here we are merging on Abu Dhabi Al Ain Highway. This will be our second drive since the pandemic. We did visit the desert in between, just us, to relax and rejoice in the sand. But in the meantime, you enjoy the golden sand dunes of Sweihan. Here we are approaching our deflation point. Far right, if you can see our convoy, everyone's preparing here. There are two convoys standing together, off-roader level and junior level, which is why so many cars. We will follow junior convoy. Deflation has started. It was very hot and wearing mask in this heat wasn't easy at all. We deflate at 12 psi. After deflation, we mounted our GoPro and safety flag. As you see, everyone's getting ready. And the trip begins here. As you see, we followed red XTerra through the trip. Briefing this time was done on the radio as precautionary COVID measures. This was our first drop. Little did we know how exciting this day was going to be. The trip was thrilling. And that's our first bumpy climb. The day was filled with a little bit of tension too, and you'll see why later in the video. We are using a two-cam setup today, GoPro as you've seen, and mobile shots from inside the car. This was a nosedive and a steep climb immediately. You can see this one in different angles from both the cameras. That's the ditch we just did. It was a sudden drop and immediate climb. It's the same drop from different angles. Same drop again from inside of the car, so you get the front view. You can see how steep it is now. That's another drop. Kids were enjoying the bumpy ride. You will keep hearing the squeaks all through the drive. These are the senior off-roaders acting as convoy support in this trip, monitoring the convoy from a distance while enjoying their own drive. It's fun to watch them and so much to learn from them. That's our first rescue going on. Land Cruiser is belly crested and it was pulled back with the help of a recovery rope. You can hear the instructions over the radio. The sand was very soft, which is why that car got stuck. It wasn't a very big drop though. And that's our attempt under the guidance of our marshals. They were constantly giving instructions over the radio. During our first break, we mounted our GoPro on the red XTerra so that we can have the front view of our blue XTerra. And here we go again. It was around 5 p.m., which is why we had an awesome lighting though, but the silhouette created by the sun made it a little hard for you to look at our car. Most of the times you'll just see the car as black, something following. You can witness the height of the dunes we are on now a little better, I suppose, as we follow our GoPro on red XTerra. This was a junior trip, which is why the marshals were keeping it easy and low. This was a very big drop, one of the very big drops that we did that day. Drop wasn't a problem though, but some cars were stuck down there because of the sand, and the sand was too soft. We learned from the cars ahead of us and crossed the area with 4 low engaged and a lot of power after reaching down there. And this is the GoPro view of the same drop, which was mounted on red XTerra ahead of us. You can see the blue XTerra making a successful attempt far behind in the background. Not very clear though because of the silhouette. Also notice the convoy support in black Prado on the right, and that was an amazing drift. Now we're switching sides, going deeper into the dunes. Sand was much softer on this side, which made it quite adventurous. How, you ask? You'll find out soon. And that's another descent. Not very big though, but you can get an idea of how big the dunes are with this angle. You can see the convoy also following. There was an incident here where our car could not pick up or could not generate enough power for some weird reason. We had to climb up a dune and we made some 5-6 attempts to do that. The car in front of us, red XTerra, had gone far away, and unfortunately we could not record the moment. We did not really find out why our blue XTerra could not generate enough power. We think it was just a moment, but we panicked and we did not record anything from inside the car. Now this one was a technical ascent, and since the sand was extremely soft and we were still engaged in furlough, we used a lot of power to climb, which led to a lot of wheel spin and sand blow, resulting in almost a pop-out situation. Thanks to the convoy support who was quick enough to notice it, and he immediately advised us to stop and assisted us and inflated our tire. We had absolutely no air left in our front wheel. Rest of the convoy continued to Nagra Dune while support and marshal were with us and they assessed the situation. We also suspected flat tire and were taken back to the deflation point. Marshal and support were kind enough to leave their trip in between and led us to the deflation point since we had no idea how to go back. And that's why Kapish called it
The Ride of Doom.
Marshal was leading us now with the recovery lights on. As we waited for the rest of the convoy, Marshal surprised us with a cool cage filled with ice creams and juices. Hope you enjoyed half the trip as much as we did.